Well, that was a heck of a candidate forum Ruben and Aurora participated in earlier this month. Their performance of lie after lie once again reminds the community why they are unfit to be reelected. Ruben, did you really think it was a good idea to insult thousands of current and former COD students and faculty, and tens of thousands of community members and partners whose taxes support the college? Your crack about everyone who lives west of Monterey lives in a bubble was shameful. But what is even more reprehensible is that it's you, Ruben, who is responsible for pitting East Valley and West Valley communities against each other. Regarding the newly signed contract for dual enrollment classes at Coachella Valley High School, Ruben, before throwing shade at COD staff, why don't you find out the real reason there wasn't a contract in place before? I can tell you as someone who worked firsthand with dual enrollment staff that COD reached out year after year to CVUSD, but with their constant change in superintendents, we could never get a commitment for them. They were happy with the academies they had in place at the high school. I personally even talked to CVUSD board member Joey Acuna about it many years ago. So please stop saying you're baffled there wasn't a contract in place before, and stop implying that COD staff gave preference to the two other districts in this matter. At the candidate forum, Aurora stated, "I do not lie," which of course was a lie. Aurora, can you explain why one of your recent campaign mailers claims the opening of the Public Safety Academy and Alumni Center buildings among your so-called accomplishments? Those buildings were completed 4 years before you were even appointed to the board. In reviewing the other accomplishments on Aurora's mailer, everything else she tries to take credit for was achieved during the administration of her election opponent, Dr. Joel Kinnaman. Nothing listed was accomplished under Martha's leadership. Then, at the last board meeting, you had B. Gonzalez pulling the construction management contract for the Roadrunner Motors project from the agenda because she failed to ask questions that could have been answered by staff before the board meeting. Due to the urgency of getting board approval for this contract, a special meeting had to be called on October 7th, where there was no discussion and the contract was approved unanimously. Just another delay to Roadrunner Motors. And B, don't go under the guise of asking these questions in public because you state it's your fiduciary responsibility. Your questions could have been asked and answered prior to the board meeting. You come off as if you're asking your questions on behalf of another company who didn't get the job. Ruben B. Aurora, you need to stop micromanaging college operations. That is not your role as trustees. Do you feel you need to do this because you don't trust your one employee, Martha Garcia? Is that why you hired the unqualified Christina Tafoya, Martha's pal, to help her out as interim executive vice president? This whole shameful state of affairs is just another sad legacy of Ruben Perez, B. Gonzalez, and Aurora Wilson's failed leadership. As always, it's the students who suffer the most by the misconduct of these three trustees. They play politics while students continue to wait for the educational opportunities they were promised.